In June of 2022, I began my Mass Effect journey for the first time. Before I heard of how brilliant these games were, the first thing I remember about Mass Effect was Mass Effect 3. In 2012, the online hype in the build-up to the game, and then I heard about the endings, and it was terrible. And besides that, I didn't pay much attention, nor notice, nor knew what these games were about, and just it was in space. I had my eye on the game for a while, but I still wasn't sure if I should play it. Mainly because it's 3 games, that's a long time to play. After much consideration and reviews, the main thing that convinced me to play it was reading comments like I would do anything to restart this game again so I could experience it for the first time. And well, after 3 playthroughs, I also agree with that comment, because Mass Effect, the trilogy, is an absolute masterpiece. It's hard to say what the best out of the 3 playing them all straight away after each other. My takeaway is all of them are incredible because of its consistent storytelling from 1 to 3, which is why overall I think the Legendary Edition trilogy is a masterpiece. Besides the story, what stands out is the world building, the combat play, and its main strength, the characters and squad mates. Oh, and the music. Some of the best gaming scores I have ever heard. From the start, with the menu music of Vigil's theme, it's going to be great. Then time to create my Shepard, which I must say is a fantastic looking Shepard.
Shepard. It's like hyperdrive.
We are approaching drop point 2.
The game does a fantastic job of introducing you to the world, beginning at Eden Prime. Going in pretty much blind, unsure exactly what this story is about. I was intrigued from the beginning. What surprised me from the start was the amount of character creation and class choices. Soldier sounded the obvious choice for my first run. Straight into it, I thought the combat was pretty smooth. I'm not usually good at manual aiming for some games, but this was a good feel when hitting enemies. What I didn't realize was the squad mate system. You can manually control or auto control your squad, which was another piece of the game I thought was great, giving an extra layer of work with also to assist you in combat. Honestly, I think squads have saved my butt more than I've saved myself in combat. I'm not too sure, however, for the first game, especially how effective the squad mate combat system is. Minus the powers and just general shooting of their weapons. Garrus' snipes are a beast, but he also goes down so easily. But what I will say is I love these squad mates and characters. They just do such a good job of connecting you to them. Especially ones where you kind of disagree with their opinions. You kind of still respect them, like Ashley, and sometimes Liara, because they're just very 2 different characters, and that is great in the terms of where you can pick one side or pick the other side, but also you can respect both sides of opinions. The conversations you have with each other on the ship is just great, because then it assists you into choosing what squad mates you want to choose later on in the game. It makes you feel connected to all of them, and just simply makes the choices and who you want to choose later on in the game more of who's it going to be. Who do you want to take with this? Who do you want the dialogue with? Who do you want the funny dialogue? Who do you want the more serious dialogue? It's always such a great choice, and over these 3 playthroughs I've really loved to just keep going back and choosing different characters. The story's pace, however, felt a bit over the place. The introduction and the start to the Citadel and exploring is great, but after that it feels a little all over the place. I like that it gives us the options. I was perplexed. It felt open world to me, with exploring the galaxy, or do you continue the main campaign? Especially after going into almost every system, you get another alert with unlocking another side mission. Some side missions were not too bad, but some got very repetitive quickly, along with some of the planets. Also, shout out to the planet Elitania. That planet is the worst in the entire Mass Effect trilogy. My goodness. I guess the main mission structure is just a bit off. I like it gives you choice of what to do, but I think in this way, I think it should have just been simply structured one to the other. There's a simple, easy way to, I guess, kind of navigate your way through, especially for the first playthrough. You go to the planet to find Liara, you get her, you recruit her, that is done. You go to Noveria, which is a really nice planet to do some little side quests, but also do the main mission. And that also connects with Liara because of her mother who indoctrinated. And then that part is out of the way. You can go ahead and do the DLC, potentially before or after, it doesn't matter, which is not too bad of a DLC. Bring Down the Sky, it's just basically another side mission, maybe a bit too long.
What's going on over there?
And then get to Pharos, which seems to be the main part and where the story progresses a bit more better. That's how I would structure it, and I think is the main way to do the main structuring for the main story. I think what I'm trying to say in terms of pace of the game of the main story, it was engaging, but it was kind of all over the place, wanting to continue the story. But also, it could be beneficial to do some quests to get some money, level up your character, and squad mates. But let's get to Virmire. This is where I did fall in love with the game. First off, the setting is beautiful and completely different to the other planets.
I have a feeling something bad is about to happen.
You are not Saren.
What is that? Some kind of VI interface?
Rudiment. We impose order on the chaos of organic evolution. You exist because we allow it, and you will end because we words are as empty as your future. I am the vanguard of your destruction. This exchange is over.
The decisions you have to make are on the edge. With the showdown with Rex, Captain Kirrahe, how to save him, honestly, I've done 3 playthroughs and I still haven't had the chance to save him. What the hell? And then the big one, save Ashley or save Kaidan. I love the game did this. It was one or the other, no middle. It makes the game feel so more real, as these characters we've started to get to know, but in a situation where it was life or death, you cannot save both. You're running out of time. I loved it.
Yes, Commander, It's the right choice, and you know it. I'm sorry, Kaidan. I had to make a choice.
I understand, Commander. I don't regret a thing.
That's a soldier. Respect.
However, I cannot necessarily say the same thing about the ending. The journey to Ilos.
But you are not machine either. This eventuality was one of many that was anticipated. This is why we sent our warning through the beacons.
Looks like some kind of VI program. Pretty badly damaged.
I do not sense the
Battle of the Citadel, and the reveal about the Reapers, Saren bringing them back with the Protheans was all fantastic. Except for the final major decision, where you are given 3 choices: kill the Council, save the Council, or concentrate on Sovereign. I chose concentrate on Sovereign, thinking, oh, maybe this option destroys Sovereign and the Council is saved. No, they die anyway. I'm thinking, well, what was the point of that? Might as well have just had the 2 options.
Wait until those arms open, Joker. We need all our ships focusing on Sovereign.
I know you get some Paragon, but still the outcome is the same. So after killing Saren, which might actually be the hardest boss as well in the entire trilogy, it took a long time in the first playthrough, but then I went back and saved the Council. What I did know by the end of Mass Effect 1 was I enjoyed it, and the ride so far, I was invested, and I couldn't wait to continue the story in the final 2 games. Mass Effect 2 feels like the most polished game out of the three, but also the most challenging and putting your mind to it, with how to make choices, especially with the final mission, and it's also very specific with the class element. After a very pleasurable first game, the second game starts with, well, we're gonna blow up the Normandy. I mean, talk about an intro, and put me right off guard.
Shit! Come on. That's actually a good intro to the game. Too bad it's, what's this?
Commander Shepard has been recovered.
Shepard dying and coming back to life? I don't know, I wasn't expecting that at all. But it's very smart how they did it, in order to recreate your character if you wish to change your character or edit things you want to try for the second game. I also like the little recap comic they do showing you the events for Mass Effect 1. It's also interactive, which means you can also create and recreate the events, which is also something really impressive to, if you want to skip the first game, you can just go into the second game and just, I guess, interact with how the events will transpire. During the first 5 hours of the game, I was kind of wondering though, what was the purpose for this story?
Miranda, you were...
Okay.
Dead?
Oh. Hey! That's better.
It was nice catching up with some old friends, new crewmates, but the game's story seemed quite basic. Recruit a team, take on the main objective, which is to go through the Omega 4 relay. It felt kind of side questy, but there was a moment where I realized I was missing the point. You bring these characters, the new ones, the old ones, you build a connection to them, every single one, because the characters in this game are amazing. Even the smaller ones, it all comes together for the final mission. The huge intrigue besides the collectors was Cerberus and the Elusive Man. Martin Sheen nailed this character. A suspicious man who, can we trust him or not? He tells you how he feels, his reasons from a certain point of view for Shepard and the team to succeed. Now let's talk more about the characters and their loyalty missions. Mostly all of them are fantastic. They are worth it to connect with these people you've recruited, and they play a huge role for the ending. But I'll be honest, the most disappointing was Garrus's. For one of the best characters, it was a bit useless. Mostly all the others are fun, really intriguing, get into in depth with the characters, especially Mordin and Tallys. The whole Genophage storyline in itself is one of the best side stories I think in the entire trilogy.
Krogan, effects on Galaxy, too many variables. Too many variables. State of Tuchanka not due to Genophage. Nuclear winter caused by Krogan before Salarians made first contact. Krogan choices. Refused truce during Krogan rebellions. Genophage medical, not nuclear. No craters from virus. Damage caused by Krogan, not Salarians. Not me.
The effects on Tuchanka are still your responsibility. You upgraded the virus that kept them in barbarism.
Krogan committed war crimes. Refused to negotiate. Turian defeat not complete. Krogan could have recovered, attacked again. Conventional war too risky. Krogan forces too strong. Genophage was only Krogan forced Genophage, us or them. No apologies for winning. Wouldn't have minded peaceful solution. Genophage not punishment. Simply alters fertility to correct for removal from hostile environment.
I feel like we're gonna need it for later.
Keep the data. Better to have it and not need it.
Sorry we're late.
What happened there?
Shepard, please.
Does Captain Shepard have any new evidence to submit to this hearing?
Tali helped me defeat Saren and the Geth at the Citadel.
You are cleared of all charges.
The DLCs are big in this game, especially Shadow Broker, Arrival, and Overlord, which is my favourite out of them for its own story itself. Arrival, I think, is 30 minutes too long. I found half of it was not necessarily needed. Firewalker, well, sometimes was alright. The Normandy crash site is a nice touch, saying goodbye to the ship and the crew of the SR-1. And how about those moments that make Mass Effect 2 stand out more than the others? Those moments of no return, Horizon, collector ship, boarding of the collectors on the Normandy. I'll say this, I hated it for the first playthrough. You're going along at your own pace, and then you cannot do anything else. You need to report to the Elusive Man to do this mission right now. The first time happens after you recruit the first half of the crew, the second time is 5 missions after the Horizon mission. It's quite infuriating though. You plan to do certain things and then you get interrupted to do certain missions that you cannot get out of. The collector ship is just insulting, probably the hardest mission in the trilogy, and it's very unexpected. It's something though that makes Mass Effect great in a way in terms of makes the field player, right into it, wondering what's going to happen next. If you're going to do this one tough, but I think more warning should be done, especially if you need to level up your character or get certain things to upgrade to assist you.
The Protheans.
My god. The Protheans didn't vanish. They're just working for the Reapers now.
These are no longer Prothean, Shepard. Their genes show distinct signs of extensive genetic
I gathered that though.
Reapers have repurposed them.
That's why I was confused, like, wait, I don't think they are extinct.
Shepard Commander.
The collectors though boarding the Normandy was another where I didn't know what I was going to get locked in. I said this in my first playthrough.
Oh, I didn't!
Hey, Commander, good news. Looks like the Reaper IFF is finally hooked up and ready to go.
What are we doing? I hate when the game does that!
I do love this part of the game though. Feels so nerve-wracking because for the next few minutes you are not Shepard, but you're playing as Joker. It was thrilling.
What? 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 Why am I Joker? This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is very bad. This is very bad. Oh my god, 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 oh my god.
You want me to go crawling through the ducts again?
I enjoy the sight of humans on their knees.
What?
That is a joke.
Oh
Right.
no.
It is though that the game doesn't lock you into the ending and you can go in whenever you want at least, but that also comes with its negatives. If you leave it too long because the crew dies. But considering in my first playthrough I couldn't do the side stuff at times because I was locked in. So I thought this was a good time to finish up side quests, level up the character, crafting weapons, and get everything up to date for the final mission. So again, for your first playthrough, it's just a bit all over the place. If you want to do everything and save the crew, well, yeah. And well, the suicide mission. Such a memorable mission in gaming. It's called it for a reason. Things won't go well if you make the wrong choice. I knew that going into it, which made it more thrilling. I might do a separate video on this because there is so much to discuss, but the main factors are amazing. You go with the crew, you grow a connection, now their lives are in the player's hands. It's what makes Mass Effect 2 stand out more. All can die, some can die, all can survive. Choosing the right characters for the tasks, which, well, our half was right. Here is a small recap of the unfortunate events.
Oh no. Oh no! A tech expert. She's a tech specialist, it has to be Tali. Oh.
We need someone with tech skills to hack that security system. Tali, you're up.
I won't let you down.
Close the door! Tali!
No. No. No.
Shepard, you need someone who can command loyalty through experience.
Oh, Miranda's not. Ah. Garrus is a leader. Gotta get this right.
Thane, you're in charge of the second team.
Well, at least they'll be stealthy.
No.
Following the death of Tali,
No.
I just couldn't handle it and just had to do it again.
What? Why? Why?
Gone. All of them. I watched them die.
I want to replay it. That's I can't. What's the point of sending a tech specialist and they still end up dying?
But who do you want to maintain the field?
I'm not doing this shit again.
And decided to choose Garrus, which was the right choice along with Kazumi, and then the game decided to crash.
Unbelievable. And now the game is. Garrus is
We're in
there.
position. Good job, Kasumi. I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Joker, send me the location of the landing zone.
Oh, not another door situation. Nice.
Interestingly, I managed to navigate my way for the rest of the game without making any more wrong choices. The loyalty missions were assisting me with that.
Oh, good.
I'm ready, Commander.
Same here.
Anything to say?
But I do need to say this now. The music for this game is a masterpiece. The score for Suicide Mission is the best piece of music I think in game. It's amazing. It's like music is a crowd in the background cheering you on as you get closer to your goal, wanting you to achieve it.
It must be massive. Shepard, if my calculations are correct,
It's a Reaper.
the superstructure is a Reaper.
Not just any Reaper. A human Reaper.
What we did to you was going too far, but look what you've accomplished.
We'll fight and win without it. I won't let fear compromise who I am.
Done for you. You...
Human Reaper was an interesting twist. Kind of explains why they were all taking the humans to build their blood into this new Reaper they're creating. And finally, after 3 tries on the first playthrough due to that Tali mistake, then the game decided to crash on me. And then I did a stupid and then restarted the entire mission after getting frustrated by not completing it. Anyway, after all that, Mass Effect 2 was completed, and what started out as a slow start ended with a bang, and I couldn't wait to know what could happen next.
We've got the schematics. They're coming.
Mass Effect 3 is just an absolute action blast. It's like the makers just went screw it, let's go all out with the final game. The combat feels most fun, more cleaner with the squad mates and combo strikes. But Mass Effect 3 just had a rough release with that original ending. I mean, I've seen it, I would be mad too with that original ending. From my experience though, from start to end, you just get the feel of this is it, we are in the end game. And some argue about plot holes, rush writing, but I didn't get that too much once you think about it. The Reapers have arrived. It's what this story has been leading to over the past 2 games. Now it's time to make an alliance with the entire galaxy to end this. I was mostly on the edge of my seat for most of the priority missions, thinking how is this going to end? It's a fantastic way to go all the way through this playthrough, have the choices we have made from the previous 2 games come to fruition, the final decisions we need to make. Do we or do we not cure the genophage? Priority Tuchanka itself just might be one of the best priority missions of the trilogy. Such a delight, multiple outcomes, but curing the genophage is obviously the best one. Having Rex there along with the ride, and Mordin having to sacrifice himself, such a sad but fantastic moment.
My project, my work, my cure, my responsibility.
Or you can fight the enemy you were born to destroy, and win a new future for our children. I choose to fight. Who will join me?
I will.
And so will I.
We're gonna have one hell of a story to tell.
Wait!
Oh no.
I want you to know that no matter what happens, you've been a champion to the Krogan people. A friend of Clan Urdnot.
Don't do
And a
these.
brother to me.
Don't
To
do
every
these
Krogan born
sentences,
after
Rex.
this day, the name Shepard will mean hero.
I don't know.
I'm not sure cover's going to work.
I can't believe we're actually doing this.
Shepard, get that second hammer going.
There's a Reaper in my way, Rex.
There's a Reaper in my way, Rex.
And of course, the Thresher Maw taking out the Reaper. Such a delight.
Oh yeah. Godzilla and King Kong time. Oh, from behind. Yeah. Take that, fucking Reaper. Or did the Reaper
Would have liked to run tests on the seashells.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. Had to be me.
He's had to
Someone
be me.
else might have gotten it wrong.
Temperature now within acceptable range. Dispersal commencing.
My pseudoscience studies range from urban to agrarian. I am the very model.
Having Cerberus as the main other enemy is a bit, we need to fight another enemy instead of the Reapers, but humanity fighting humanity is interesting when we should be uniting. I do like the enemy Cerberus. It's the elusive man who is in charge, who by now we know is indoctrinated, and he thinks he can control the Reapers even though they're already controlling him, but he feels like he can do it this way, his way, just like in Mass Effect 2. He has his reasons for what he thinks is right.
Idealism is admirable, Shepard. But in the end, our goals are simply too disparate. I believe destroying the Reapers would be the worst mistake we could ever make. And nothing you can say will ever convince me otherwise.
That was profane, you son of a bitch.
The Geth and Quarian War. Do we make peace or not? It's these characters, Tali, Legion, we've grown to love in the firing line. Comes down to our decisions. The final few choices that we have to make that can make severe consequences if not done properly. Instances like this though, again, it's tough. I mean, to complete side missions to get bad outcomes for the main. I still dislike that. Choices you should make throughout the main game should just take effect in the main game. But if you don't do one of those side missions that Tali and Legion tell you to do, it can not be as good as what you might think.
Please. Keela Salai.
All units, hold fire.
Don't get me started though on Tali taking off her mask and we don't see her face. And controlling a Reaper to aim at a Reaper to take it down is cool, but also very, yeah.
Keela Salai.
Let's talk about the DLCs at the time. And while I don't agree with that amount of price of the paid DLCs at the time, I honestly would pay for it. If you love a game series so much, so what? Leviathan, From the Ashes, Omega DLC, Citadel DLC, or Shoreleave DLC from what I've come to call it. Probably the best DLCs in the entire trilogy. Although, yeah, Leviathan probably should have been in the main game because of the history, beginning of the Reapers per se. But overall, over those 10 hours of those 3 to 4 DLCs were so enjoyable. I would say more enjoyable than the entire Mass Effect 2 DLCs. Recruiting a Prothean, Leviathan, is a great thriller mystery. Omega DLC is definitely the weakest and the longest for just to recruit more allies. It's still fun combat, and you seem to get a lot of XP over those 3 hours. The Citadel DLC, Shoreleave, is just a great way to end the series for the main ending. Very frustrating beginning though, if you don't know it's a DLC, which I didn't know at the time. You go to the apartment and you're basically locked in. Quite frustrating, and then yeah, it gets really tough when you have 1 bar of health and, you know, no meta-gels and only 1 pistol, which is cool, but you don't even have your armor, so you die pretty easily. But after that, it's a less thrilling and less stressful ride. More calming, fun, enjoyable ride. And to fight your Cerberus clone, which I didn't really get at the time, but you know, I like that this part of the game likes to poke fun at itself, pokes fun at the characters. It's a really nice and relieving way to finish off the game.
Well, last one until you finish kicking the Reaper's asses, you mean? Because that's the plan. Can't wait to see what the hell you make us do next. It's been a good ride.
Oh, stop it.
The best.
That's what Mass Effect 3 should be appreciated for, the closing and end to all the characters and squad mates we have met from the beginning, middle or end. There isn't really a single character in this game I thought was a bad character. Some not as good as others, not as flushed out, but I seem to gain a personal connection to all of them. Especially the ones we lose in the final game. Definitely hits harder, and the ones that survive, or can survive, just makes you feel so relieved.
I can't do that, Miranda. There's no Shepard without Vicarion, so you better remember to duck.
Go out there and give them hell. You were born to do this.
Goodbye, Garrus.
Shepard! Good luck.
You too, Joker.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But when it came down to the ending and the final battle, it was everything I wanted. A climax to everything we went through. Admiral Hackett's speech, fantastic. Bringing the galaxy together on Earth. An Avengers Assemble moment that Mass Effect did first.
Fire. and somehow Big Ben is still flying high.
London was a surprising backdrop, but it was cool to be fighting in the city, with the target being this beam, which I'm not sure is fully explained properly. The Reapers protecting it as they are protecting the Citadel that sends you into the Citadel to find the Catalyst, with that being the final piece to the puzzle to complete the Crucible. A weapon to stop the Reapers that has been progressing every cycle, which I actually think is great. It's something that keeps going until it's finished to end the cycle. So all those 50,000 years before, it just keeps happening, and they keep building this thing until it's finally fixed, the cycle to end. Again, I think that's a really good, smart way to go about it.
This war has brought us pain and suffering and loss. But it's also brought us together. As soldiers, allies, friends. This bond that ties us together is something the Reapers will never understand. It's more powerful than any weapon. Stronger than any ship. It can't be taken or destroyed. The next few hours will decide the fate of everyone in the galaxy. Every mother, every son, every unborn child. They're trusting you, depending on you to win them their future. A future free from the threat of the Reapers. But take heart. Look around you. You're not in this fight alone. We face our enemy together. And together, we will defeat them.
Shepard, you did it. No matter what else happens today, you did what no one else could. You united a galaxy. That's a victory right there.
Now let's talk about the endings. I'm sure most fans are still annoyed because of that original ending. To me, I was incredibly satisfied. I think fans expected more choices, like Mass Effect 2, more reasons behind the endings maybe. To me, just made simple sense, explained by the Catalyst, and the completion of the Crucible. This is the end to the main story over the 3 games. Fighting, stopping the Reapers, ending the cycles. The 3 to 4 endings to me made sense. Control, destroy, or synthesis, unless you oppose all of those and let the cycle continue. Now, my thinking of the Control ending just sounded the best to me. I didn't like the sound of synthesis and being all one, thing. And destroy ending just destroys all synthetics, which then I thought, well, there's no point of keeping the Geth alive and all synthetics, destroyed. And the Catalyst also warned that the conflict will return. So then, Control just sounded the most and best ending to me. Shepard assumes control, but does it his way, with still having his memories and still intact, watching over the galaxy. He's stopped the Reapers, and says in the epilogue, rebuild what many have lost. To me, I think it's the best and obvious ending.
Oh.
And I have left this to last, but your character, Commander Shepard. It's interesting how you can connect to a character you can create, male or female. I've done both genders in the playthroughs. I have to say, Mark Meer, Jennifer Hale, done an outstanding job. It's rare to have both voice actors for the main role do it correctly. I haven't really connected to a main character since Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2, which I have to say is and always will be number 1. But a also big shout out to all the other characters and voice actors. just also done a great job.
And I will watch over the ones who live on. Those who carry the memory of the man I once was. The man who gave up his life to become the one who could save the many.
While the Legendary Edition is a 9.5 to 10 out of 10 game, no doubt in my first 2 playthroughs had some frustrating moments, couple of, instances of bugs, but especially one DLC where you get thrown in a situation with the short-lived DLC, like I said. The game doesn't tell you certain necessary things and changes from 1 to 2, but I did appreciate the differences from all 3 games to make the game feel fresh, something different with each one. It's been a while since I've walked away from a game feeling like this, becoming a fan now of the Mass Effect community, creating a YouTube channel from it. And then there's Mass Effect Andromeda, which, well, I will make a review about. But whatever the future holds for Mass Effect, I cannot wait to see where the next Mass Effect continues. But for now, it's been a legendary experience.